Now let's bring in finance guru and Yellow Brick Road Home Loans Chairman Mark Bouris. Mark, thank you for your time. You were predicting that the RBA would have to raise rates today given underlying inflation barely moved. Do you think they made the right call in keeping them on hold?
Well, I didn't say I said they would, I didn't say they should. And the reason I said they would, I'm predicting based on their language in relation to where they think inflation should be. And given what Angus just said, the inflation was, after you stripped a few things out, was still at 6.4. So yeah. I took the view that that wouldn't be enough of a reduction in order to encourage the RBA not to put rates up. But I have to be honest with you, I'm very glad they did not put the rates up, because I don't think we need to put the rates up. And actually what the RBA said in their statement today, I actually agree with what they've said in the statement, that it is time to pause and it is time to look at the effect of the 12 interest rate rises we've had, bearing in mind a few of those interest rate rises were 50 basis points. So we've actually probably had about 16 rate rises in less than 14 months.
Yeah.
So I agree with what they did do today.
Now, obviously, you're chairman of Yellow Brick Roads that gives home loans to Australians. What are you seeing from customers? Are they starting to really struggle to make the repayments after 12 rises since May last year?
Well, that's a very interesting question. So we're not getting many requests for hardship at this stage. We're not getting many requests. In other words, and our arrears and delinquencies, which we monitor very closely, are not rising very much. But I have to say this, we do have a very large percentage of our customer base that we lent to in 2021 and 22, or the beginning of 22, but definitely 21, who were fixed rates. So a lot of those people only started coming off their fixed rates since March this year, and the bulk of them are probably going to come off their fixed rates towards the end of this year. That's one phenomenon that's important to note. So we haven't really seen the net effect of these high variable rates as it affects fixed rates yet. That's one. But secondly, one of the things it is worth noting is that lots of our clients, our customers, are taking second jobs and third jobs and doing, becoming Uber drivers and doing all sorts of different things. And because unemployment is so low, there's lots of opportunities for people to work overtime, extra time, second jobs, something on the weekend, et cetera, et cetera. And people's propensity to do these sorts of 4 or 5 hour gigs on a weekend, on a Saturday and Sunday, their propensity after COVID, post-COVID, has become quite strong. So they don't mind doing this sort of stuff. So I think the low unemployment is helping arrears and delinquencies not to become a thing at this stage. But if what Michelle Bullock is saying is right, the Deputy Governor, that we're going to hit 4.5% unemployment in a year's time, then I will start to worry.
180,000 people out of work. That's 180,000 more people unemployed if it hits that. Now, Mark, we talk about productivity, but Sydney Airport over the past week has been in chaos. 16 more flights cancelled today, as many as 200 domestic flights have been canned or delayed. Very chaotic start to the winter break. This is affecting business, this is affecting families. What's going on with our airports and our airlines, and particularly Virgin?
Well, I don't know what's going on particularly in relation to Virgin, but it seems to me, as not just the weather conditions, but it would look like to me that there could be a lot of sickness or a lot of people who are taking time off. Because it's more than likely they're not meeting their quota in terms of the number of staff they have to have on a flight, or at least having people check in or be properly checked in. So I guess there's a combination of weather. Weather could be a good excuse, but also a combination of not having enough people available. And that's got something to do, we were talking, Angus was talking about productivity a few moments ago. I mean, there is a different mindset, I think, in terms of how people work today relative to how they were working pre-COVID. People have changed their whole mindset around what I need to do, how I should work, what are my obligations, what are my requirements. And again, that comes off the back of being such low unemployment, because people take the view, well, if I can't do what I want to do, I'll just go get another job somewhere else. And I'll just leave you one person short. And now, to some extent, I think what the Reserve Bank was talking about this time last week, Tuesday last week, when Michelle Bullock released that paper, I think it is probably better to see a 4.5% unemployment number, which, by the way, is still very low relative to the rest of the world and relative to where we have been in Australia in the past 20 years. 4.5% might actually alleviate a few of these issues. Now, I don't know if that 4.5% is going to come about as a result of immigration, or whether that 4.5% is going to come about as a result of people being fired or sacked.
Yeah.
I don't know which one it is or what the combination of those things are in a mathematical sense, but it would seem to be a better outcome so we can start to change the mindset of people who just take days off whenever they feel like it.
Well, that's one way of looking at it. Mark Bouris, thank you very much for your time this evening.